Today's Japanese slang term is alto obu ganchu. And if you're like, I don't care, I'm not interested in that, well then this is a perfect term for you, because alto obu ganchu is used to refer to something that is below your attention, of no interest to you, or that you look down upon and don't believe is worthy of your time. Now this may surprise you if you look at the actual meaning, because alto obu is of course out of, and then ganchu literally means like in your eye, but this doesn't mean that you can't see something, or metaphorically that you're not aware of the existence of something. So if you didn't know about alto obu ganchu, that does not mean that alto obu ganchu is alto obu ganchu for you. Rather, you have to know about something to kind of look down on it. And this is because ganchu in Japanese has long meant more like interest rather than just literally in your eye. For instance, the phrase ganchu ni nai, which is like the more normal, non-slangy version of this, it's an idiom that's been established for a while. I can find uses of it dating back to 1893, as you can see here, and I assume it actually probably goes back farther. But this is used, as you can see in these kind of example sentences, to dismiss something rather than to say you don't know about it. And that's how alto obu ganchu is used as well, as you can see in this post here from a Japanese streamer noting that no Japanese streamers were selected by World of Tanks as options in a survey on which streamers you're paying attention to, which means that the entire Japanese kind of streamer fan base is alto obu ganchu in this case. And if you're like, hey Wes, couldn't this be interpreted as meaning that the producers of this game are therefore not aware of the Japanese community rather than not paying attention to them or looking down on them? Well, normally I would be very offended that you would even assume I would get anything wrong in one of these videos for Word of the Year in 2026 for Monster Hunter Worlds being released, and Ryu they did.
Quick correction, I got this one wrong, which made me mad, but that's okay. I guess I just suck.
But recently, I'm proud to say that I've achieved a state of zen, so any critique, etc. is just alto obu ganchu for me, because that's not the case, as you can see in examples like this one here. And somebody notes that they bought 2 toys for their kid, but the shovel car, the digging truck, the yellow one, is something their kid is expressing no interest in. It's literally in their sight, so I guess it is in their ganchu, but they do not care about it and have completely focused on the red car. And similarly, here's a lady who is, just to be blunt, bragging about how they have a stronger sense of self and like self-affirmation than other people, noting how when you compare yourself to other people, you go down, but when you go up, you no longer do that because what other people are doing is alto obu ganchu. In other words, of no interest to you. You're not going to spend time on it. You can still see them, right? You haven't gone blind, but you just don't care. So how long has this term been used? Well, this is an older term for sure. I actually found out about it because I stumbled on it on a charming ancient website that refers to itself as a dictionary of dead slang, and it says it hasn't updated since 2000, so the term certainly precedes then. Remember, this is not the new slang channel, this is just the I learned a word and I want to talk about it channel. But websites like the Pixiv Dictionary say that the term appeared in the 1980s, 1990s, and I think that's more or less correct. Google Books has the first hits for alto obu ganchu in the 1990s, as you can see in these examples here. And Google itself flagged a student newspaper from Tsukuba University, which uses the term as being published in 1999, but that's actually incorrect, because if you check the date there, Showa 58 is 1983, so this shows us clear use in the 1980s. For a sizable amount of Japanese people, though, their familiarity with this term, or at least the most famous use of this term that they'll know, comes from its use in the manga Initial D, where it is used by the character Seiji Iwaki, who is an antagonist to the racing protagonist, to state that he does not even consider the type of car the protagonist drives as one worthy of racing, looking down on the protagonist for the very car that they drive and considering them not to be a challenge. So when did this panel appear in the manga? Well, Google's AI says it appears in the 6th volume, and that's incorrect. Did I need to tell you that? No, but I just wanted to remind you that these kind of AI results are not ones that you can actually trust for data, because this character did not appear in a speaking role until chapter 79, which was released in March of 1997 and compiled in the manga's 8th volume. It also featured in the anime in a scene that the Japanese internet has a lot of affection for.
86なんか乗ってるやつはアウトオブ眼中
Indeed, in 2023, the Tokamachi Police Department in Niigata, which is the hometown of Shuichi Shigeno, the creator of Initial D, collaborated with him to create posters advising people to be wary of fraud, which reference this line, stating that amayo kane no hanashi, or like talk about easy money, is something that should be alto obu ganchu for you if you want to stay safe from fraud. And yes, while this is very much an older term, again associated with the 1980s, 1990s, you can still find use online today, even if the oldest uses on Twitter are actually people asking Twitter if people are still using this term. The story kind of doesn't stop there though, because actually there is another English borrowing which precedes alto obu ganchu, and that is alto obu question. Now this is again just literally out of question and it has the same meaning, and no, I'm not making it up. While I'm not going to pretend that this is something that Japanese people say a lot, it is a phrase that has been used and is used in Japanese. There are hits for it going back to 1960s. Although for some reason Twitter doesn't have hits until 2011, and there are hits, by the way, besides this, but I just thought it was really funny that this person kept posting the same thing, so I'm showing them. But even in 2025, there is natural use of this, as in this person who uses the phrase to note that if they like someone, they want that person to call them by their first name rather than their last name. A romantic partner who uses the last name as the reference is alto ob question. And this isn't just like Japanese net slang either, as like a Japanese politician used it when talking to the press just about a year ago. And the press reported it as is without any explanation or definition, thereby assuming that people who read the article would understand what it means. So any claim that this term is not actually used in Japan is alto obu question. But if you personally don't want to use it because you think it's a bit silly, it's fine to state that for you it is alto obu ganchu.